Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today we're going to be doing another vintage versus modern video, this time featuring Japanese Telecasters. This is a 1984 TL62B70 JV serial. This is a 2019 traditional 60s custom Telecaster in California blue. We're going to be going over some sound samples, giving you my thoughts on how they feel when you're actually playing them afterwards. But before that, I do want to go over the fact that these do have a lot in common as far as the specifications go. Both have alder bodies, both have poly finishes on them, both of them have the threaded steel saddles, both of them have their stock electrical components, 7¼ inch radius, vintage fret wire, and rosewood fingerboards. So we're gonna have to see just how different they do sound, and more importantly, almost to some, how different they do feel compared to one another. So we're going to start with the sound samples. We're going to be using the Vox AC15 mic'd up by the SM57, and then we'll do all the rest of the talking after that. Now, as I had expected, these guitars do play and sound quite different from one another, but I'm going to preface the rest of this comparison with one thing. I recently had in an American Vintage 63 Telecaster, and I played it back to back with this one quite extensively before I ended up selling the 63. I did not think that there was very much in it as far as the playability, the overall tones, anything like that. I thought that this was insanely close and a far better value than the American Vintage 2 line. My own personal preference, of course. So what I'm about to say is by no means trying to knock this guitar whatsoever, but I think it's going to come down to taste. This guitar feels more like sheep in wolf's clothing if you're going for a sheer vintage feel. That might sound crazy because it does have the vintage fret wire on it and the vintage radius, so you would immediately associate that with playing more like an older guitar, but it does feel like a modern guitar, similar to the American Vintage 63 and all of the custom shop Fenders. But let's be honest here, the majority of those ones that are being produced, very rarely are they going to be coming with pure vintage specifications on them. It has a really kind of beefier neck at the first fret, and once you get higher up, it absolutely does have a very similar thickness. I believe it's about 0.95 at the 12th fret, which is, again, going to fall in line with the American Vintage 2 series of guitars. The fretwork is incredible on this instrument. I think the bridge pickup sounds really good, especially considering this is just a stock Japanese bridge pickup. Really nothing to complain about with that. The neck pickup, Telecasters and neck pickups, it's a whole kind of debate, kind of topic that we can get into at a later date, but I mean, it adequately serves the job, but it's nothing that really shouts like this is really something special. And that leads us to the JV Telecaster. I want to try to keep this brief with this one because I have not filmed a full review of this instrument. However, I am going to comment on a few things on it. The neck shape of this guitar and the feel of it in my hands reminds me more of a proper vintage Fender Telecaster than any other Telecaster that I have ever owned. And I have owned many of them from Japanese reissues and American reissues alike. It just has it. It has that factor to it. It feels incredible. It's a little bit slimmer at the first fret, but it is really just an absolute pleasure to sit and play with this guitar. When it comes to the electronics on this, these pickups are slightly microphonic, and a lot of people would say, that's terrible, you got to swap them out. And when I first did plug this guitar in, long before I'm shooting this demo right now, and I played with higher gain, I noticed it, and the first thing I thought was, you know what, you do have a set of Lindy Fralin hot vintage pickups. Maybe you could throw that in, you have the ultimate guitar. But as I've grown to really appreciate this guitar and to really figure this guitar out and play it more and more, there's not a chance in hell that I'm going to change anything on it. And I'm going to explain to you why. One of the things about my particular guitar playing is I play a lot of funk. I play a lot of syncopation. You can hear a lot of my hand movements within, the songs that I'm playing and the riffs that I'm playing. And having these pickups be microphonic almost adds like a 3D touch on top because they're not so microphonic that it's really loud and noisy no matter what I'm doing. It's just once I really start pushing it with higher gain levels that you really notice it becomes apparent. I love it. This guitar feels alive. It balances perfectly, which is always a really good hallmark to me when I'm playing any guitar, that it's really well built. It's well put together. It's the full package, and it's really an exceptional guitar, and it's a damn shame that there are so few of these available on the used market. However, that is going to be where I conclude my rambling on this matter. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the demonstration, which guitar you preferred as far as the sounds go, the looks go, all that kind of stuff. And if you would be alright buying a guitar like this JV and, knowing that there's not many of them and that it may potentially inhibit your ability to maybe want to perform with it live because you ain't finding another one of these ones, and that's kind of a scenario I find myself in right now. Whereas this one, I'd happily play this thing anywhere at any given moment and not really feel as kind of, at risk with it, so to speak. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, you can become a member or just use the Tolman affiliate link if you're going to be purchasing something anyways. Obviously, nothing in this guitar video is for sale new at Tolman as far as the Telecasters go, but it does help me out and it helps the channel out to continue to invest in other things that we can try and tinker with going into the future. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.